my name is Gianna Zavillo, and I will be talking about why I think servers should make minimum wage and not just have like a server minimum wage, if you know what I'm saying. I have many reasons as to why I believe this. I am a server myself, so I really do think that us servers do deserve more than what we get, because we make tips and people don't think that tips is what we need in order to make our money for our job. People think that just our hourly does enough and our tips just are extra, which it is not, which I think it should be because of reasons that people think that. So yeah, I will be talking about why I think servers should make minimum wage rather than making $2 to $3 an hour. I will also be talking about reasons why I think that, and I will also be talking about things that will basically help my opinion become a reality, or help me persuade why I think this should be a thing. So the first thing that I want to talk about is people are not required to tip. People do not need to go into a restaurant and sit down, order food, pay for their bill, and tip their server. Like, it is not against the law if you don't tip. You can easily just sit down, eat your meal, pay for your bill, and walk out. Like, you do not need to tip if you do not want to, which is something that should not be a thing, I think, because, again, that's how our servers make our money, and I think it's just kind of, like, messed up if they just think like, oh, like, they have their hourly, like, whatever, like, they don't need my tip, like, whatever, and then I get to walk out with nothing because you didn't tip me, and now I'm trying to pay my bills and I'm broke. So that should not be a thing. So again, people do not need to tip, and that should not be a thing. I feel like when you go into a restaurant, other than common sense and, like, you know, humane activities, I feel like it should be a law that people should tip, or they should give us minimum wage the same as other jobs do, like $8, $9 an hour, $10 an hour, or something. Even $7 an hour would be a big difference. But making $2 to $3, $5 an hour does not pay our bills, and the fact that people don't need to come into a restaurant and just tip and they can just eat their food and leave, it really should not be a thing. Like, I really feel like people need to just either have more common sense, and like, it should be like, I feel like people either need to tip, like, I feel like people need to either be forced to tip, and not in a way where like you need to tip if you come in to eat, but like, if you come in to eat, you have to leave a certain amount, like even a 10% amount, like, I guess, but like, I feel like people should not be able to leave the restaurant without tipping at least 10%, because that's how we're making our money. And if that's not going to be a thing, then I feel like we should at least get our minimum wage, like, raised, because we're making nothing an hour, and that's just not fair to us servers. So my next point is tips are not guaranteed. Even if you have this job, if you are in a tipping job and you make your money off your tips and you don't have any good hourly, which again, this does relate back to my first point, which is tips are not required, but they are not guaranteed as well. So not only do they not have to do it, but it is a choice if they want to do it, if they want to. So like, you could serve a really great table, you can serve a really big table and have like a $187 bill and then not get tipped, because it's just not guaranteed, and it's messed up. So I feel like raising our minimum wage to a certain point, again, even $1 or $2 difference, it makes a huge difference. So from $5 to $6 to $7, like, that is a really big difference in what we're making right now. Which I personally make $5.16 an hour. At my old job, I was making like $4.50 to $5. So it really does just depend on the job, what state you're in. But I feel like it should just be like, there should be no such thing as a server minimum wage. I feel like it should just be a minimum wage for all jobs, because people who are working at McDonald's, they do a lot less work than us servers do, and we're making a lot less money depending. So it just really depends. But yeah, so tips are not guaranteed, so you can walk into a shift, have really big tables, and walk out with only $20, and that can just be that. But $20 is not going to pay your bills, and your hourly for that day got taxed off your tips, and your hourly for that day only was $4 to $5 an hour, maybe even $2 to $3 an hour, and didn't help you at all that day. If you're having a really shitty day at work, or if you're having like a really slow day at work, your money's not going to be as good, and your hourly just does not help. If your hourly was, you know, a little bit higher, like I said, $5 to $6 or $7, it really will help you, because $7 an hour and you work if you work an 8-hour shift, that's a quick, you know, $50, maybe $45 after tax. But $5 an hour working like 5 to 6 hours, that's only like $25 to $30, and that's before tax. So yeah. My next point is our hourly is low and gets taxed upon tips. So not only does our hourly get taxed, but it gets taxed upon our tips. So if we make really good money that week in tips, our hourly goes down because of how much we made in tips that week, if that makes sense. So I think that should not be a thing. I feel like hourly should just be hourly and that's it. It should be taxed however the government wants to tax it, but not tax it upon our tips, because I feel like, because our tips are, I feel like in this time and in this era, I guess you can say, or whatever we're in right now, I feel like tips are just extra at this point. And I feel like tips are looked at as extra. And if people are going to look at it as extra, and if the government's going to be okay with that, then they should just be extra. You don't get the hourly that you think you're getting. Like, if I got the hourly that I thought I was getting every single week, I would be making about $35 to $40 a day in just hourly, because if I work an 8-hour shift, I'm making $5 to $16 an hour. And then that adds up to what, $40, and that's before tax. So after tax, say about 35, maybe 40. So maybe like 35, maybe even $30 a day, and that would be 30 times 5, which is $150 a week, and that is, again, before tax is taken out, and that is also before your tips are being before your tax is going against your tips. So I'm making like $150 a week, and my hourly is not that. I get about $30 to $60 a week instead. $60 is actually pretty high for what I get a week. So my next point is gender, race, ethnicity, citizenship, all that stuff. That really does go against your tips, believe it or not. Like, it is a fact that girls make more money, or that girls make more money than guys do, because for many reasons that I don't even know of. They're probably stupid reasons, but it is a fact that females make lots more money in tips than males do. This doesn't go for every single person, it's just on average. Also, your race, it is a big thing, whether I want to admit it or not. It really is a thing. Like, not even just, like, race is a really big thing. Like, people like to tip their race better than they do opposite race if they are racist. Racism has a really big role in tipping, because if you're white and you're racist, then you don't tip your black server because you're racist, and that's just not right. Or if you're a male and you're just like, you don't like females or something, and you just don't want to tip your female server, then that's another thing. Or if you are a female who likes another female, or if you are a male who likes other men, and if you are, you know, the same sex that likes the same sex, or if you're just different than somebody that you're serving, and your guest just wants to judge you because of who you are and doesn't tip you for that, that is just another main reason. But yeah, your race, your gender, ethnicity, citizenship, all that stuff, it really does affect it. Like, you can serve a whole entire table of just racist people, of sexist people, of just, like, it's just really bad. Like, and it really can affect your tips. Which again, it's you should be making your money depending on people and their choices. Like, we should be making our money just like everybody else is making their money, which is by the government, I guess. So yeah, if we were making $7 an hour or $8 an hour like everybody else was or is, we wouldn't really be like too stoked up about a really bad tip or anything like that. We would just push it to the side and be like, it was just another table that just didn't feel like tipping me, you know? But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. My next point is splitting tips. People do not understand splitting tips, okay? If you come in with your family and there's like a group of like 25 of you, and you just come in and you think that you're only gonna have one, if you think you're only gonna have one server, it's probably not gonna be a thing, because one server can't handle 25 people, whether you think so or not. It's a lot of people to take orders from, drinks from, refilling drinks from, serving the food, this and that, getting this person this, getting person that. It's a lot harder than you think it is. So usually the restaurant requires like 2 people for a certain amount of people. So like for 10 people, it's like 2 people. So with 25 people, they'll probably put like 2 to 3 servers. And if there's like a bunch of split checks or even just one check and the tip is like really, really bad, that just really affects us because we're splitting this tip in half or divided by 3. Like we have to split this tip equally, and that is before we do a tip out for that tip. So for example, I served a table with my friend at work, and it was a $250 bill, maybe almost $300, and it was like 2 different checks, and each tip on each check was like, well, we probably should have got around almost $30 total, or at least 35. I'm not really sure. I'm not good with 20% tips, but we should have got around there. But total, we got, I think it was like $20 total. And that's not bad. It's not that I'm complaining about the money. It's just people don't realize how it really does affect you, because that $20 wasn't just mine. So, it wasn't just hers. Like, we had to split that 20 in half, so we each made $10, and then we both had to tip out against that $10. So we probably total made like $9 or maybe $8.50. So yeah, on a $200 and something bill and 25 people, we each made $8, $9. It's just really sad because that's what we made for that hour, and we didn't get any other tables throughout this hour because of this table sitting here not tipping me. So I went home with like $25 less than I could have, and it was just really depressing and sad because when you're in need of money and you go to work expecting you're going to make a lot of money and you just don't make a lot of money, it's not fair to me because of other people. Like, my money is coming from other people and their decisions and their judgment, and it's just not right. My next point is card tips are taxed. Card tips are 100% taxed, and it is very controversial right now. Like, taxation is theft, like all that stuff. I've had lots of people that I've served write that on their ticket and tip me cash, because taxation is theft. Like, if somebody thinks they're tipping me $5, I'm not getting that $5 because of taxation. So I'm really probably only getting like 3 something, because that goes along with my next point, which is tip out. I'll get into that in a second. But taxation against our tips is just really messed up, because like not only is our hourly being taxed, but our only way of income is being taxed as well. So that's kind of like messed up in a way. But my next point is servers have to tip out. We do have to tip out, because not only do we, with all the help that you see us getting in the restaurant, we get help from bartenders, which they make our drinks. The hostesses seat our tables. The bus boys, they clean our tables after our table's done eating, so that we don't have to clean them. We have people who help do the bathrooms, and they help do this and do that. But like, so we tip out to help out everybody who's helping us. So not only is our tips being taxed from the government, but we are being, taxed. We have to tip out our taxed tip as well, because we're helping out everybody in the restaurant. Because I mean, if that were me and I was helping out all these servers and I wasn't getting any tip out, it's understandable. But people don't understand that. People who you serve doesn't eat and think about all these things, which is also understandable, because I used to not think about that before I was a server. I used to never go into a restaurant and be like, oh, like, she has to tip her money out to this person, she has to tip her money out to this person, the government's taking her money as well, and this and this and that. But yeah, it's really, really sad. It really is hard. We work so hard as servers to make our guests happy, do this, do that, and we do it because we need money. Like, that's our way of income, because we don't get hourly. And if we did get hourly, we probably wouldn't be working so hard for that tip. Like, the tip would just be extra, and I feel like that should be a thing, because I feel like tips should just be extra, because it's just wrong. I don't know if my point is coming off too rude or like too snobby, but yeah, I really do feel like servers deserve the same amount of minimum wage as anybody does at any other job, like McDonald's, Taco Bell, movie theater, this place. Like, we deserve the same amount of minimum wage. We do not, I feel like we do not deserve any less because we do so much more, and our money just comes from judgment and people and their choices, and if they don't want to tip, they don't have to. Like, our money is not guaranteed. Like, our payments, our checks are just not guaranteed because, you know, because people just don't need to do, people are not required to tip, and they don't want to, they don't need to. We deserve $7 at least an hour, especially for those who are single moms, or if like you're a teen mom, or if you're trying to support your family and you're trying to support your mom or something, and you're here working and people are just rude and they don't want to tip you because you're black, or if they don't want to tip you because you're a girl, or they don't want to tip you because you're gay, because, or if you have tattoos, like, they don't want to tip you, because that should not be a thing. Because when you work at McDonald's, they don't just not tip you, like, they don't just not give you your minimum wage because you're gay, like, no. So we deserve the minimum wage because our tips are not guaranteed, and that's all that I have to say. So thank you so much. I hope that I got my point across clearly. I hope that one day servers will definitely make more than $2, $3, $4, $5 an hour, because we deserve a lot better and more. Thank you.